Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast film review. I'm James DiVirgilio, and on today's episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Mississippi State. This will be the last game of the Billy Napier era that I'll bring to you as a film review, and the defense sent Billy out a winner when it looked like he was almost certainly going to go out a loser. A lot of stuff happened in this game. Florida played lots of freshmen due to injury. They had some good plays, some bad plays, and the Bulldogs missed a host of opportunities where they could have scored at least probably 14 more points, if not even slightly more in this one. So Florida definitely dodged some bullets. The full film review will be on Patreon. The link is in the description, where $15 a month does get you unlimited access to every single offensive and defensive film breakdown I provide in the 2025 season. With that being said, let's take a look at what happened here in this one that allowed Florida to get the win, including that game-winning interception at the end. 2nd and 5 now. Florida's defense looking different. Here at the top of your screen, you've got number 26, Jameer Grimsley, a redshirt freshman. You do not have Cormani McClain, who did not play due to injury. At the bottom of your screen, you've got number 43, Alfonso Allen Jr., and the reason you have him here is Castell is out with injury. So 43, 26 both in. In general, though, you want to attack Florida's safeties. Here's number 18, Thornton. You've got a single man out here, matched up. And of course, what do they do right away on 2nd and 5? A little play action. Let's hold here, hold here, hold here. Looks like Thornton's trying to watch the release of the number 2, trusting his corner is going to be able to stay with the 1. He's going to provide underneath help. Again, I can never know for sure what's going to happen, but based upon how intently he waits to release the 2 and leave him alone here, it looks like he's on 2 first, then work to 1 if 2 is not threatening him, which means in general, he's got to make sure he stays on top. He's opening to the outside here, allowing an inside release where he thinks he has safety help. But all of this is going to go terribly wrong for Florida, as we are going to wind up getting absolutely cooked here. We're cooked here, and now we recognize the threat, but we are also going to get cooked here, right? Can't do anything about that, even though you start on that side, even though Florida starts with 2 safeties, obviously. And we're playing 2-on-1 right here. 2-on-1, going to get beat right down the sideline for a huge play. And you're going to see the reaction here of 26 Grimsley. He knows it right away. Unbelievable. I cannot believe I just let that happen. But it happened. Spin the ball, big first down, big explosive play right out of the gate already for Jeff Lebby's Bulldogs. 4th quarter now, still 20-7. Despite all these plays, the Bulldogs find themselves down 13. Florida's defense finds themselves hanging in there despite having so many new faces in here. We've got number 6 in now, Javari Flowers. That is 0. Brennan Thompson, you already know what's about to happen. Getting a little post route here. We're going to step down and try to potentially rob anything coming here, with Thornton rotating to be your single high. This is not going to work out well for the Gators. There's your ball fake. Let's engage him in here, bring him down here into this area in case he wants to run this. Trying to basically create a little bracket here and then send him over the top to protect anything deep. Presumably this post route, except Thornton, who you can't see, is really watching the release of the number 2 here and then sees the release here. So Florida does not have a great play on for this. Mississippi State's going to catch them in a bad look here, and this is the matchup that we cannot win. No one can so far, right? 0 has just barbecued our entire secondary on vertical routes, with the exception of Devin Moore, who wasn't in the game long enough to see what would have happened to him, although I think it might have been different. But we are just getting absolutely cooked. Jaden Robinson with a huge hit. And again, Florida getting fortunate here. Does he need to slide down to catch this ball? I'm not so sure. Felt like he probably could have stayed standing, but he's going to go ahead and slide and grab this ball. And that's not going to be a touchdown, although it could have been. And here's Thornton, who sniped himself, fell down, sniped himself early on into this play here. And so there he is. You're going to see him come onto your screen. He's been down for quite a while. As long as we can see him, there he is, right? He's down. Man down. And he's just watching, thinking, oh no. Oh, man. Thankfully, that's not a touchdown, right? And again, I think he's just laughing. He's like, man, I am barbecue in the swamp down here, boy. These guys can't cover me, and yet, my stat sheet's not as full as it should be, but how many bombs can I run in a game and get absolutely wide open? But look at this hit here from Jaden Robinson. He comes like a missile. Bam! flying in. Shapen takes the punishment there, but Florida dodges a bullet there. I want to show you Jaden Robinson. Really great technique from him, though, outside of Florida secondary, young and experienced freshman. It's going to be a tough day for them guarding a senior, talented receiver like that one, right? Not going to be easy. But Jaden Robinson here, he is going to be responsible for the H-back. So what's going to happen is he's observing the H-back. If he stays in and blocks, then Jaden Robinson can pile on, right? He can pile on. He can pile on. He reads at this point in time that he's staying in and blocking. He's going to go ahead and pile on. And good thing he does, right, when he does, because this is going to be a shot up top. Now, he actually does wind up releasing into the pattern right here, as you can tell, but that's way late. Good pile on. Good choice by Jaden. This ball's still complete, but at least you punish the quarterback for that, and it sets up Mississippi State on the 5-yard line with another bomb to 0. And yeah, she gets it right here. She's like, man, this 0 guy, this Brennan guy, I mean, he is, yeah, killing the Gators. 2nd down and 4 now, right? They're in field goal range-ish already, but it's going to be a long kick. They want to get closer. Notice what we're in, 2x2. 2x2 right here. And an H-back as a running back set right here. So you're going to run empty, right? But notice this formation, it's going to matter. Florida sitting off this 2. 2 linebackers over here wasted, not ready for this play. Shapen's going to open up and just take this little hitch route right there. There it is. Nice and easy. Nobody over there in time, right? Going to pick up a nice 7-8 yard gain on that play. Keep that in your mind. That's going to loom large here in just a few moments. 1st down and 10 now, and this is important here, I think, to applaud Ron Roberts because he had realized at this point in time that Jeff Lebby had him in an absolute straitjacket, right? He was just absolutely having his way with Ron Roberts, and there was nothing Ron could do about it unless he did something different. So let's go ahead and load this up on 1st down and 10 and try to muddy the picture with the simulated pressure so they can't just know where they want to go with the football. Now look, pre-snap, this time, if you're Shapen, you're thinking, look, I still love this look. I've got 2 guys way off. One of these guys is a safety. If I'm working 2x2 here and all these guys blitz, I should easily have what I want. They're going to run out route and a go route here, right? A classic combination. I should have what I want, but by simply running this sim pressure look where Florida's not going to bring pressure, they're just going to bring 4. They're going to confuse the Mississippi State line. Now, Florida did not do as much of this, in large part because they're spending a lot of their time trying to coordinate all their new players as they typically would have. A good thing Ron chose to do it here. It's going to pay dividends. Notice 93, right? Here is 93. Going to come into play later on, and he's going to come over here and try to get into this slant window, except they're running an out route, which is smart. Smart play by Lebby. Hey, look, they ran a slant before. Let's go and hit the out route. Run him off and hit the out route. Smart call here. Shapen would have this out route pretty easily if Miles Graham is not here unaccounted for. Why is he unaccounted for? Because the sim pressure has effectively messed up the protection for Mississippi State. Shapen gets out of there and winds up getting basically back to the line of scrimmage where Mississippi State will have to use their last timeout. So they're hoping to throw this ball out of bounds for a 5-yard gain. Instead, the sim pressure look single-handedly ruins that play despite the fact the receiver is open, and you wind up getting their last timeout to be taken, and that is going to set the stage for the play that wins the game. All right, after the timeout now, 2nd down and 10. We've seen on this film review that Jeff Lebby has had a lot of excellent play calls. We've seen on this very drive that he's got Florida in a bit of a blender with what they may do. We saw on the previous play that Florida lined up in a sim pressure and had success. On 2nd down and 10, Florida is going to do the same thing. Now, Lebby counters by showing a stack set here to open with, but then is going to motion out to the same 2x2 that they have been in. Now, what's really curious, and I'm sure what Lebby spent a lot of time thinking about on this play, is on the very previous play, he saw Mekhi Barrow come here, right, and drop. They saw this same action last time. They knew we were robbing the slant here. And the previous play, of course, what they have on, they had an out route and a go route. That play is still viable here. He could have run a similar concept to what he ran last time if he didn't want the same exact play. But the same exact play on 2nd down and 10 is still available to him should he want to go to it. Instead, and I think this is what's going to kill him, is he's going to run a slant route. But again, the previous play would have told you that Florida was motioning, or not motioning rather, but sim pressuring and then dropping, right? Dropping one of their defensive linemen or linebackers into it. Now, it didn't have to be Burrow, but it's likely if they did the last play, they're probably going to do it again here. Florida is not going to want to risk bringing a pressure, an all-out pressure where a simple slant route is going to wind up potentially winning the game. They're not going to want to do that, right? So Levy knows Ron Roberts. He knows he's unlikely to bring a pressure in this situation. Florida does not bring pressures often, and he's almost certainly going to drop, right, 2 guys off the line here. So running a slant is curious given what he had just seen. And then here is why Ron Roberts, really the godfather, the grandfather, the father, if you will, of sim pressures, why they work so well. Because if you're the quarterback and you're shaping, you see that you're pre-snap 2x2. You see that you've got 2 defenders off. You see a sim pressure look. At this point in time right now, here's Mekhi Burrow. He thinks, this is great. I've got 2 guys off. I'm going to have a nice window for this. Let's watch Chapin. Turns the head. He still does not see Mekhi Burrow. Right now, he does not see him. All he sees is a slant that's coming into here. He's like, this is golden. I've got 2 guys off. I had a sim pressure. I see no one in my throw window. I'm good. And now when he turns, right now is when he probably starts to see a flash of blue. But he is already in his mind throwing this slant route, which to him just looks like this sweet bunch of grass, and this guy's not here. This is what Chapin sees right there. He just sees a ton of grass and possibly a first down, get down, spike the ball, kick a field goal, win the game. That's what he sees. He lets this ball go, and then look at this, right? Here it is, sim pressure. You got 2 defensive linemen bit, and the Mekhi Burrow dropping back into the windows here. The sole purpose, trying to confuse the offensive line, confuse the quarterback. You did it the previous play. You did it again here. And what do you get but a game-winning interception with some exceptionally soft hands here by Mekhi Burrow in 93. Some exceptionally soft hands. And let's watch at the top of the screen, really the player of the game from Mississippi State, right? Here's 0, Brennan Thompson. And he can't believe this. As watch him here, he looks back, hands on head, cannot believe that's a pick. I think most people could not believe that's a pick. Florida looks like they're absolutely going to take an L in this one, and yet they are not. Big number 93, the sim pressure. It gets to him. All the excellent play calls Levy had on that drive, had Ron Roberts in a blender, saw the previous play, and that's the look of a man who's like, I cannot believe that A, my quarterback threw that, and B, that I maybe even gave him the opportunity to throw a slant route there, given what I had just seen on the film previously. I had just seen what Florida did. They were looking to jump that slant, and I gave them an opportunity to do it. Chapin threw it, and I mean, yeah, total shock, right? Just complete shock and dismay all over the place. Surrender Cobra's in here. You can't believe that ball gets thrown. There's Billy Napier. Unbelievable. I thought I was definitely taking L. I knew it was my last game here. I'm going to get a win. I'm going to go out as a winner. I mean, really a crazy ending to this game, right? As Mississippi State left so many plays on the field, then they drive down, they get in field goal range, and ultimately they blow it. But give credit here to Ron Roberts, right? As Ron sets this up with the preceding 2-play sequence of just basically saying we've got to run a simulated pressure front, because if we stay back like we have been, a traditional starting set, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers here in nickel, they are picking us apart. They are diagnosing us and picking us apart. We're trying to play safe. We got too many young guys out here playing. Got a lot of new faces in this game. Let's try to change the game. And then Levy, essentially, in my opinion, really makes a critical mistake to run the slant route here. There's just no reason to do it, knowing how Florida's going to play it. But make no mistake about it, this is a sensational play from a defensive lineman. That is a sensational pick. An incomplete pass there, Mississippi State's still in business. But you pick that ball off and end this game and send Billy Napier off into the sunset with a win that it certainly did not look like he was going to get. Great stuff. All right, well, that's going to do it for this film review. That's going to put this to bed. It's going to put the Billy Napier era to bed. A new day dawns in Gainesville. It's the bye week and then Georgia. So I won't be back with you next week, but I will be back with you after the Georgia game, where we could see, especially offensively, perhaps a different football team. Only time will tell. Defensively, Florida needs to get healthy. It's going to be a major uphill battle if they have to play this many freshmen versus Georgia. So they are certainly hoping to get healthy in the bye week and get some of those starters back in the lineup. As always, I hope you enjoyed this film review, and I can't wait to be back with you after the Georgia game. Until then,